Now, typically they say in order for you to take something from the apprehension level to condition response, it takes on average some 3,000 repetitions. So this is also why it's important, why when you get down there and you practice in position, you've never done this arm bar before, you've mentally seen how to do it, but you're that guy, you don't really want to practice a position, so you do it 2 or 3 times. Well, you've got 2,997 more times to go before you're able to convert that arm bar into just a condition response. And by condition response, I mean, we use the term timing. Basically what it means is that when I get into the mount on this individual and this guy goes to push me up, I can immediately just snatch that arm and rotate right into an arm bar, and I can do this all without consciously thinking. 9 times out of 10, I'm not even really processing what I'm doing until I'm done. Now, you guys who have trained and then you've taken off for a while and you come back, this actually begins to degrade, and we say that you start to lose your timing. And what happens is all of those techniques that you learned, and you maybe even moved them all the way up to the condition response level, they begin to slowly degrade back to an apprehension level. You still mentally comprehend how to do it. You even still physically comprehend how to do it, or apprehension. You still have physically apprehended on how to do that technique, but there's still that gap there, and that gap is what we call timing. So what ends up happening is you're trying to do these techniques, and I'm not able to do it in time. By the time I think about doing the technique, the guy's out of that position and I've already lost it. So this goes back to what I was saying. You cannot continue to train technique with 100% of your conscious effort and your cardio with 100% of your physical effort and your strength with 100% of your effort. You're going to have to find what your weakness is. When you find your weakness, you train that until your weakness becomes your strength. Then you will have a new weakness. Now you begin to train that weakness. If that's your strength, I'm not talking about not going to the gym or not going to train BJJ. What I'm saying is that only one is going to be able to be your primary focus. Thus the term primary focus. So train your weaknesses, not your strengths. The guys who train their strengths are the guys who are only after the win. They're not after any sort of growth. The guys who train their weaknesses are the ones with heart, with dedication, with determination, with the ability to withstand a loss for the sake of continuing to grow. And this matters all across the board. I'll give you one more example. I'm a 200-pound black belt, all right? I've been doing this for going on 16 years now. I train with a white belt, maybe 140-pound white belt, has been doing this for a month. I come in there and I grapple this dude. If I gave him 100% of my strength, 100% of my cardio, and 100% of my technique, the guy wouldn't move an inch. He wouldn't get anything out of the grappling match. But by the same token, neither would I. I would never learn anything out of that particular match. I grapple this guy for 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes, when it's up, it's gone, it's lost. I have used that 5 minutes, every bit of it, to basically just assert myself on this individual to show him just how awesome I am. That is nothing but pride and arrogance, and there's nothing in there for me to actually grow on. On the flip side, and he gets nothing out of that either, except discouraged and ends up quitting, which, whatever. But on the flip side, let's say I train against this individual. All right, we're not talking about a brand new guy that comes in. We're talking about a guy that you know, he's relatively new and you trust him and stuff. This new guy, or this guy comes in, he trains, and he's a 150-pound white belt, and I'm a 200-pound black belt. What am I going to do with this individual? Well, how can I get the most? How can I fulfill my goal, which is to grow and to learn and to get better? How can I do that with this guy? Well, maybe I back off on my strength a little bit. Maybe when I go to push this guy's hip out and he starts to push back on me, I just I pull back a little bit. If I find myself using my strength to actually push him out, maybe I pull back a little bit. I'm dialing myself back because I'm creating weaknesses just in that moment, in that particular gap, because maybe I want to focus on my technique. Maybe there's a new technique that I want to do. I'm actually going to let this guy get on my back, get his hooks in, get one arm under the chin, and he's sitting there getting ready to lock in the rear naked, and I'm going to practice an escape. Now, the risk that I run is that he actually catches me. I allowed him to get far enough into a position that his strengths and his cardio are actually going to supersede my technique because I let him get too far. Whatever, all right? I have enough confidence in my ability that I'm not afraid to take one of these guys and allow him to get in a position, a compromising position for me, for the sake of my learning. Now, what a lot of guys want to do at that point is when that white belt actually catches you, they want to stand up and be like, oh, you used too much strength. No, I mean, that's just kind of a chicken shit way to go. All right? The fact of the matter is when I train with that white belt, I'm going to allow him to get something out of that 5-minute match. I want myself to get something out of that 5-minute match. I am not looking to go on this individual and to just drive through him like he's not even there, completely crush him, give him 100% of cardio, 100% of strength, 100% of technique, and I just annihilate this guy for what? Just to show him I'm a black belt? He already knows that. There's no point in doing that. It's not good for him. It's not good for me. Nobody grows there. The only thing that gets fed there is your own ego. So you can look at it from that perspective, or you can look at every single grappling match as an opportunity to train your weakness, even if that means self-inducing a weakness to be able to train. Maybe this guy he's a freaking cross-country runner, swimmer, triathlete, or whatever, but he's still a 150-pound white belt. But the guy's got ridiculous cardio. So maybe I just start going, and I'm just drilling him, trying to get my cardio up. I'm going to use that opportunity to train my cardio on this guy. Maybe I'm using it as an opportunity to train a technique that I'm not particularly good at. So now I'm working technique. Or maybe this guy is not a 150-pound white belt. Maybe he's a 250-pound white belt. Or there was actually one case, I grappled this one guy. He was I think a defensive lineman from Miami Dolphins. I forget exactly what position, but he was like 350 pounds. Dude was huge. And I'm grappling this guy, and literally as I close guard, he just takes my legs and just rips them open. I mean, there was nothing I could do. Hey, that's an opportunity for me I can train my strength against this guy. The guy knew nothing. He knows nothing. If I want to battle him strength on strength, or maybe I want to go at this a different way. Maybe I want to see, hey, is my technique at a level where I can battle this 350-pound dude on technique against his strength and still beat him? So I think you understand where I'm going with this. I want to use every grappling match as a productive opportunity for me to grow, not as an opportunity for me to win. If my goal is to win, go to a tournament. The tournament is where you go and you give whoever you're going with 100% of your cardio, 100% of your strength, 100% of your technique, and you let the chips fall where they may. And if you come out on top, great. And if you don't, that's fine. At least it revealed a new weakness in you that you go back to the gym and then you continue to train that weakness and you come back to the next tournament. So I want you guys to get the most out of your training. And like I said in the beginning, this doesn't just apply to BJJ. When you realize that your shooting sucks, but your boxing and your grappling is strong, don't continue to attack people who are really good at shooting and say, hey, I can grapple and I can do all this, and you're just belittling people who can shoot. Instead, realize that, hey, this is a weakness of mine, and you go to those people who can shoot and you say, hey, You know, can you help me with this? I got a deficiency in this area. If you help me here, maybe I can help you with some BJJ, or I can help you with some boxing, or whatever. The ultimate goal is not just for you to not have those weaknesses, but it's also for you to help the guy that you're training with to strengthen his areas of weakness. This builds that team atmosphere. When you're always the guy who is training for the win, you're not training with family, you're not training with teammates, you're training against competitors. And that will be the mindset in the school, that will be the mindset of those individuals. When you're training for growth, you look at every person, whether it be white belt to black belt, you look at every person as an equal individual, and you look at that as an opportunity to train. For this individual to expose your weaknesses so that you can train those, and for you to expose his so that he can train those. This way, you grow together as a family, you grow together as a unit, you guys get better, and everybody benefits. There's no loss there. Even if you tapped and you lost the match, you didn't lose anything because it revealed something in you that you needed to work on. So, focus on that. I'll finish it up with this. You can either be that guy that people want to train to be like, or you can be that guy that people want to train to beat. The guy who trains only for the win, I can tell you right now, in 16 years, I've seen guys come through and do it. That's the guy that people want to train to beat. When that individual gets sick, when he gets weak, when he has an injury, guys will come at him and they will just put it on him. They will put it on him because he's that guy. Their whole focus in training has been to beat this guy. Or you can be that guy that people want to be like. People want to train to be like him. In which case, you're going, and this guy eventually catches up to that level, and you're still growing. I mean, you eventually catch that black belt, and that black belt is not looking at you like, you know, I'm going to annihilate you. He's looking at you like, that's awesome. I remember when you were a freaking white belt, and you knew nothing. Show me what it is you just did, because you have just revealed a weakness in me that I now need to train. So, I hope this has been helpful, guys. I'm available to do training, but probably not for the next couple months. I'm getting surgery done on the knee, so some of these videos that I put together, they may be more kind of mindset instructional type thing and less physical as far as technique. I'm just somewhat limited until the surgery gets done. So you guys train hard to be hard, and I'll see you later.